What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of NAS100 analysis today. And we're going to pick up from where we left off last week, right? So guys, I hope you've had an amazing trading week this week, right? And I hope that obviously the information that I'm about to share with you in this video, I hope that will aid you in your trades for next week. Bearing in mind, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not giving you financial advice, right? For next week's trade, so that you'll be profitable as well. Reason why I say that is from last week just gone. It was a phenomenal week for me in trading. Everything basically went well. All the errors that I made in the previous week I was able to fix, and I'm going to share that with you guys right now, as well as give you my thoughts in terms of where I think the market is going to go in the coming days and weeks. So we're just going to get straight into it. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring in the separator, okay, to separate the previous week, which was last week, this area right here, and this is last week, right? So we're just going to lock that in place, and then I'm going to talk briefly about this area over here, what happened. Okay, so not this week but last week, okay, I put in a trade in this area for a sell and I lost. Boom, got taken out, right? And then on a Thursday I put in a trade in this area right here, okay, right? And I ended the Friday of that week with a little bit of profit. Okay, so Sunday evening the following week, right, soon as market opened, I entered in a trade at this location right here. This is where I entered in, right here, okay? And I put in a few trades at that location. I set my stop above the previous weekly high, okay, and I let it run. Now, I just held that trade for 5 days practically, because I came out of it on Friday morning, right, due to a trailing stop that I placed. So literally, we did one trade for that week, and that's how, I'm not gonna lie, I cannot want to trade moving forward. I just want to put in one trade, let it run, it does what it's supposed to do, and then that's it. And the rest of the week I could do whatever it is that I want to do, right? So I locked in a trade. So just gonna widen this out a bit. So literally I got in soon as it opened on Sunday night at 11 UK time, so that would be right here. This is where I locked in that trade, and my stop was right above these levels over here, which was the previous weekly high, right? And literally I just sat in it. Right? So then what happened was, right, so on Thursday we got a new low. I was bringing my trailing stop lower and lower and lower, and then I brought my trailing stop somewhere to around this region over here, and then in the early mornings around 6, that was it right here. It just took me out, and that was me done for the week. I did enter back into the market again with another short sell, a quick sell, right? So I think that was this area over here. I saw it and it looked like it was going to push back up again, so I just jumped out of it with a small amount of profit, tiny amount of profit. But either way, my whole week was fantastic, and that is the kind of week that I want to replicate moving forward. So the target is to do exactly the same thing with the same level of intensity, one move, or say one shot, one hit, that's it, right? So that's that side of things covered. So now we're going to go into where I think is going to be taking place next week, right? And there's a couple things, because I don't think I'm going to need to go into the day, because it's relatively self-explanatory. Market looks like it's in an uptrend, but the actual direction is down, right? The actual direction is down, hence why I've been downward facing for a hot minute, right? So I've been talking about being downward facing for a long time, right? And as you can see, it's like all the big benefits are coming by being downward facing. So we had a little satin over here, we definitely got this all the way down here, we screwed this area up over here, we kind of got it right at this level, but we really got it right at this level, right? And we're gonna hopefully continue, well, not hopefully, we're definitely going to continue with that vibe, right? So what are my views for next week? Well, next week goes as follows. First things first, right? First, we're going to acknowledge key areas that we need to bear in mind. Key areas, right? So the first key area is this location over here, and that was last week's weekly low. So we're just going to set that in place there right now. So that's the weekly low, boom, right there. And then we're going to have the weekly high. Let's get rid of this because we don't need that anymore. And then we're going to set the weekly high, which is at this level right here. Right? So these are the two zones that we need to be careful of. Right? Now we can take guesses about these moves, okay, right? But we always want to make sure that we're facing in the right direction when we are talking about making these moves. And like I say, if you know how to read the overall direction of the market, it doesn't matter if you're downward facing or upwards facing. Just one of them has a higher probability of giving you a lot more than the other. So in this case, in my opinion, there is a higher probability of you getting bigger gains being downward facing supposing to being upward facing, but it doesn't mean you cannot make gains on the upside. That's definitely possible, right? So these are the moves that I'm looking at right now. Okay, so keeping an eye on the weekly high of last week and keeping an eye on the weekly low of last week, right? And as you can see, price is pushing up and it's giving us a very interesting structure in this area over here, which you can kind of go with the vibe of it might begin to break downwards, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to draw out those zones, right? So we can see here we have a flag, right? And there's so many different names for these flags: bull flags, rising flag, rising wedge, whatever. I'm just going to call it a flag because I try to keep everything as simple as possible. A lot of the time the textbook throw out all of these concepts just to make it harder to understand. So it's like you're talking about the same thing, but it's got like 20 different words for it. Do you know what I mean? So we're just going to keep it simple. We have a flag in this area over here. This flag that we're looking at has a high probability of pushing downwards. It doesn't always push downwards, but it has a high probability of pushing downwards. So we factor in a few key elements as well, just to strengthen this idea of whether it's going to push up or it's going to push down. So the overall direction of this market right now is down. Yes, I know you're looking at it and it looks like it's an uptrend. It's not a downtrend, it's an uptrend. No, this is not an uptrend, right? Yes, it's going up, but at some point, if it doesn't break above a weekly high, it's flying all the way down. And if you're on the wrong side of that, basically meaning your account is about to go bye-bye and you're gonna have to top it up again, right? We want to avoid that. We don't want to keep topping up our account. We just want to keep making revenues off the account we've got. So let's try to be sensible. And by the way, me saying that, it's important I say this. I am not a financial advisor. I am not giving you financial advice. This is purely my opinion based on experience. That's it, right? What you do is all on you, right? So because I know that this is a downtrend, and reason why I know that this is a downtrend, okay, is because although weekly highs have been taken out, so we have a weekly high that was taken out at this level, okay, no, so we have a weekly high that was taken out at this level over here, and we have this weekly high that was taken out at this level over here. The main weekly high, which is this one over here, has not been taken out. So in proportion to the number of weekly highs that have been taken out, supposing to the number of weekly lows that have been taken out, more weekly lows have been taken out than weekly highs have been taken out. And off that assumption, I'm downward facing. I hope it makes sense, but that's the vibe I'm going with, right? And then we also need to pay attention to why we should be expecting a big move from the market. Is the market is playing games around a major level, right? This level right here, this blue line, as you can see, market went underneath it, and now market is gone above it. But the main body of market was underneath this overall major level. Now, I'm not saying because I've seen that basically means that that's what is going to happen. I'm just saying there's a high probability it's going to push down. So what am I waiting for? So first things first, right? First things first. Next week, how I'm looking at things is like this, okay? Is market going to come down to this zone, right? And if it does come down to the zone, so first things first, on the weekend, so say on a on Monday, if we get a close below the previous week, before the previous week's low, okay, that will give me the vibe that market is pushing down, but it's not an infinity push down to the downside, okay? It can still bounce and push to the upside, because remember, like I said earlier, I'm expecting 3 touches along this trend line down here, and I'm also expecting 3 touches along the trend line up here, right? And the 4th touch on either one of these trend lines is going to let us know what is the market's true intention. Okay, so up until then, we don't know. And this trend, can be drawn as high as to match the previous weekly high. So it's kind of close, right? So if I want to be unbiased with my analysis, right, this is where I'll push it to. I'll push it to this level right here. Okay, so this is an unbiased trend line that I'm drawing right now. Okay, and reason why I'm saying this is because, like I say, just because I'm seeing this large flag, it does not necessarily mean that price is going to break down. It could push up. All it has to do is take out this high, and once it's done that, then I will literally be loading up buys at the bottom. So I will stop being a downward facing trader and upward facing trader. But for now, I'm downward facing. So market takes out this low, right? But does not take out this low. Okay, depending on the day that we're in. So if it's between a Tuesday and a Thursday, if it's between a Tuesday, yes, and a Thursday, and market takes out one of these lows, okay, right, then I'll be expecting price to start pushing back up again, right? Okay, if this lows are taken, so if this low is taken out, say on a Tuesday, right, but then the high of that day, so it's taken out on a Tuesday and the Tuesday high is taken out on the Wednesday, then I'll be expecting market to push up, right? Push up to around these levels and then settle at those zones. I may be right, I could be wrong. It's just the vibe I'm going with at the moment. So key areas, key things that I want you guys to be mindful of next week when you're doing your trades, because these are the things that I'm going to be mindful of next week, is first things first, the weekly low. So the weekly low level is currently at, so actually let me just draw a label on it. So approximately, hang on, I just got to rejig this a bit. Okay, so approximately this is the weekly low right here. Okay, weekly low. And then we have the weekly high right here. We have the daily high right here. Okay, so if this high is taken out at the beginning of trading, which is either on a Monday or on a Tuesday, this high, so let me just put a label on it. If this daily high is taken out, right, on the Monday or on the Tuesday, we should expect price to make his way to this level and go past this weekly high over here. Just an opinion, okay? If it breaks the weekly low, then we need to be preparing ourselves for this low to be taken out and this low to be taken out and finally this low to be taken out, right? But the kind of vibe that I'm getting at the moment is that maybe just this weekly low is going to be taken out and we may get a bounce of this weekly low over here, okay, and then it will push up to take out all the weekly highs, and then towards the end of the week it may start to look like it wants to come back down again. That is just my opinion. I could be right, I could be wrong, but we'll see how this goes. So if you are still watching right now, congrats to you for doing that, okay? Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Make sure you turn on the notification and make sure you drop us a like. Also, check in the description area. There is a whole bunch of information in there, a whole bunch of links to various things that you guys could click. It will help you out. So there's one to TradingView. If you don't have a TradingView, get that. There is a list of books that I put together. I put it in the form of a blog. So go in there, hit that, get those books, get loaded up with some information that will help you for your future, okay? And finally, if you need a broker, there's a link in the description for you to line up with a broker that I put in place for you. So all of these things are there for you, right? So go over there and take advantage of that. Now, with all of these things covered, my awesome people from all around the world, I want to thank you for coming over to watch another episode of NAS100 analysis today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be very, very soon. So for now, this is Pips and Points signing out.